What if the sun simply never rose again? No dawn, no warmth, no light. And suddenly the morning you once hated became the one thing you desperately needed. This is the story of a man who learned that lesson the hard way. Daniel never liked mornings. To him, every sunrise felt like an insult, a bright, noisy interruption to the comfort of sleep. While others opened their windows to the golden glow of dawn, Daniel shut his curtains tighter. He hated the chirping birds. He hated the sunlight slipping through the cracks. He hated the alarm clock that dragged him back into a world he didn't enjoy. Every day, he sat on the edge of his bed and muttered the same words. Why does morning even have to exist? To Daniel, mornings were not a blessing. They were the beginning of traffic, deadlines, noise, and forced smiles. If he could erase one thing from the world, he was sure it would be the sunrise. One night, after a long, exhausting day, he dropped onto his bed. "I wish the sun would just stop rising," he whispered. And within seconds, he was asleep. When Daniel opened his eyes the next day, something felt strange. The room was dark. Not the soft bluish darkness of early morning, but a thick, unmoving darkness. He reached for his phone. 8:47 a.m. "That can't be right," he said. He pulled back the curtain. The sky was pitch black, as though it were still midnight. Streetlights glowed weakly. The road looked empty, unnatural. He turned on the television. Every channel showed the same thing. "The sun has not risen anywhere on Earth," the reporter said. "Scientists are baffled." Daniel felt a strange thrill. No sunrise, no blinding light, no noisy birds. For the first time in years, he smiled. "Well," he said softly, "this isn't so bad." At first, the endless night felt peaceful. The air was cool. The streets were quiet. The world felt calm. But by the second day, the darkness began to feel heavier. Shops closed early. Plants in offices started to wilt. People whispered nervously. On the third day, the temperature dropped sharply. The cold crept into homes, into bones, into hearts. Daniel looked at the tree outside his apartment. Its leaves, once bright and lively, now hung gray and lifeless. He touched the window. It felt like ice. By the fourth day, fear spread everywhere. Grocery shelves emptied. Crops began to fail. Animals wandered in confusion. Daniel sat in his apartment, wrapped in blankets, staring at the endless black sky. The silence was no longer peaceful. It was lonely. He missed the warmth on his face. He missed the golden glow on the buildings. He even missed the annoying birds. For the first time, he whispered something different. "Please, just one sunrise." On the fifth day, the world felt colder than ever. The streets were nearly empty. People moved slowly, their faces pale and tired. Daniel looked up at the sky, still black, still silent. Tears filled his eyes. "I was wrong," he said softly. "Mornings weren't the problem. I was." He closed his eyes. "Please, come back." And then something changed. At first, it was just a faint line on the horizon, a thin glow, almost too small to notice. Then it grew. Orange, gold, light. The sun was rising. Warmth touched Daniel's face, gentle, comforting. People stepped outside their homes. Some laughed, some cried, some just stood there staring at the sky. Birds began to sing again. The trees shimmered in the light. The world seemed to breathe. Daniel smiled, a real smile. "Good morning," he whispered. From that day on, Daniel never complained about mornings again. He opened his curtains every day. He let the sunlight fill his room. He listened to the birds. He even started walking at sunrise just to feel the warmth on his face, because the long night taught him something he would never forget. Sometimes the things we complain about are the very things keeping us alive. Moral: we often curse the small routines of life, the alarm clock, the morning sun, the daily grind. But what if those ordinary things disappeared tomorrow? Would we still complain, or would we beg for them to return? If you woke up tomorrow and the sun never rose again, what is the one ordinary thing you would miss the most? Share your answer. Someone else might need that reminder today.